Hello everybody, this is Marcus Toole, and this is my orchard tour for September 21st, 2025. So it's autumnal equinox. We're going into fall. Still actually a beautiful day today. I mean, gorgeous day. A little warm, but not by South Georgia standards, not bad at all. We're going to talk about the plums and some of my grafting projects that I did this year. You'll notice that some of my little plum saplings have pink ribbons on them. A couple of guys from the Georgia Southern University Botanic Garden came by, and they're going to the Botanic Garden is going to buy some of my little plum trees, some of my little grafted trees, to add to their collection. And which means I won't have nearly as many grafted trees to sell this year as I at one time thought I might, but I'll have a few. This is one here is the Gulf Beauty Plum. It's one of the Gulf Series plums, bred by the University of Florida. It's a super low chill variety. It's kind of a trial situation for me here, just because it has such a low chilling requirement. The question is, will it bloom too early in the season to escape late frost? And we don't know the answer to that question, but I do think that this tree over here, which was supposed to be a Gulf Series plums, I think it's a sister variety. It may well have come out of that same breeding program, just not one that was officially released. And it bloomed early, but not too early. And so if it's a sister, then we're probably okay for the Gulf plums. Next to it, I have two little grafted trees, one on one side and one on the other. These two I'm going to keep. I want to move them, of course. They're too close to this other tree, and they're both Mariposa plums. I have a third one, which is going to Georgia Southern, which is this little tree right here. And anyway, actually no, that's not it. That's a spring satin. That's this one over here. That's the Mariposa. That's kind of a California variety. It's but the University of Georgia says that rates them as fair in terms of health in our climate. So I'm giving it a trial. They don't recommend it for North Georgia. They do recommend it for South Georgia. I'm not really sure why that is. It is an early bloomer. In fact, it might be an early enough bloomer to bloom with these Gulf Series plums. The two little plum trees next to it are both the Sunny's Yellow. And if any of y'all local that ate some of my yellow plums this year, that's what they were. This is the mature tree. And I have another grafted tree over here. I'm going to have two of those. I have two of those left that I will be selling this year. Right here I have three together, and then there's a little one over here, a fourth one, that are Gulf Rose. And that's the latest ripening of the Gulf Series plums. It's supposed to make a big dark red plum with red flesh, and it's supposed to be the best tasting of the Gulf Series plums. So I'm gonna keep both of those trees, and the third one there is going to go to Georgia Southern, and then that one there is still up for sale. I've got two spring satins to sell. I'm keeping two, and I'm selling two. Well, actually, I'm selling three, but one of them is going to Georgia Southern. These are Gulf Blaze. And that's the third of the Gulf series plums. It's a dark red fruit with sort of an orangey flesh. It's supposed to be freestone. Gulf Rose is also supposed to be freestone. And one of them Georgia Southern is getting, this one here. The other two are going to stay in this orchard here. And then there's one I'm going to, the graft has formed roots right at the graft. And I have an idea why that happened. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig that up and bury it deeper and try to get that plant to root for the scion to root. And I think that would be an awesome tree to sell to somebody next year if that scion roots. Let's see what else we got over here in this part of the orchard. The spring satins are over here. There are two of them. One that I high grafted onto an older Ridgeland plum. And this tree here is going to bloom this year. My larger Gulf Blaze and Gulf Beauty plums are going to bloom this year as well. So I should have an idea. The thing about spring satin is that when the USDA experiment station in Byron, Georgia released this one, they said it had required 750 chilling hours, which is too much for this part of Georgia. But nurseries are beginning to say it only needs about 400. And I talked to one of the nurseries, and they insist that they're getting customers that have success with it as far south enough for it to give 400. So I'm going to trial it. We should know this spring if it blooms properly, because it's got the bloom buds on it. So will they bloom or will they fall off? If they fall off, well, then we'll know that it's not going to work in this climate. So we'll get an answer to that one pretty quickly. So go kind of over here to this corner over here. Here in this corner we have what is a lemon frost. And what lemon frost is, if you've heard of a Meyer lemon, the Meyer lemons in general are sweeter than regular Eureka lemons and Lisbon type lemons. And it's because they took a regular lemon and crossed it with a Satsuma. Well, this one here, they took it and crossed it with something called a hardy tangerine, which is another sweet lemon, tangerine, Satsuma-like thing, mandarin-like thing. It's a sweet orange anyway. And so the lemons that this produce are a lot sweeter than your typical lemon, much sweeter than even the Meyer lemon. I really like it. It has a fair amount of cold resistance to it. I don't think you can buy these anymore. I think the 1 year that the company sold it, and then it got discontinued and no one else has picked it up. This right here is a brown select. It has more fruit on it than you might think just by looking at it. They just kind of droop down onto the ground. Over here we have this is a ruby red grapefruit. Most of my grapefruit trees are pink frost, and this is the only one that's ruby red. This will be my second year getting some fruit on it. Last year I got two, but only one really ripened, and I think I'm going to have about 20 on it this year. I think that's what I counted, and they're going to ripen earlier. And I'm very hopeful. We'll see how good they are. I know that the local citrus farm grows some, but they have found that it doesn't get nearly as sweet here as does this pink frost, and this is the pink frost. And I had a big crop last year, and I have an even bigger crop this year of the pink frost. So the ruby red has better color on it, and so far it's redder. But the jury's out as to whether they're going to be sweet in our climate. Grapefruits need a fair amount of hot weather to sweeten them up. And while we get hot weather here, we may not get enough hot weather close enough to ripening time to really do the job for ruby red in terms of getting it, stimulating it to make really sweet grapefruit. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I like a tart grapefruit too, so it's not like I won't eat them. Let's go to another part of the yard. I kind of showed a video of this area of the yard here. Boy, the little plum suckers are popping up everywhere. Here's another pink frost grapefruit tree. And then that's the Toole's Heirloom. We got tons of suckers coming up. I'll be selling suckers. I'll also be grafting over some of the suckers for grafted trees that I'll sell next year. I got this is the Munson plum. This was the Munson plant I planted here years ago, and I've grafted it over with the Gulf Rose, and this tree is going to bloom like heck. I should get a fair number of plums off of it this year. Got a ton of suckers. Anyone that wants to buy Munson plums, I sell suckers for $15 of any of my varieties. I'm going to try again with grafting onto them. I've had so luck with getting grafts to stick to them. I got a fair number of Mariana rootstock popping up in the yard this year, so I'm going to do some grafts on them this year too. Let's see. I think this year, the big plum tree here. The fruit on it's very popular. I think it's a methyl, but I'm not sure because it was mis-ID'd. It was labeled as something else. I know that for a fact that it's not that something else. And I think I'm going to graft it onto these saplings that are coming up, and try to sell them locally next year. This is Ridgeland. This is actually my favorite plum so far. This was supposed to be a ruby sweet. It did not turn out to be ruby sweet. I'm going to graft it over to a plum that I discovered this summer. Someone at a church has it. It's a yellow plum that we're calling Georgia Nectar. And I think that plum is a hybrid seedling. This is another little tiny baby pink frost grapefruit. Get in this yard here. So there's my big Robusto plum tree. Made a fair amount of money off of the plums off of my plum trees this year, and that was one of the most productive ones. This one here, close up, is Black Ruby. It's going to bloom a little bit for the first time this year, not much. If I get 1 or 2 plums off of it, I'll be very happy this year. I would like to get 1 or 2 so that I can try them. Now this young sapling over here is a Shiro. This is a yellow plum. Jury's out whether or not it's going to be brown rot resistant enough for our climate. It's supposed to be really susceptible. And so I'm going to have to see if I can control the brown rot on it. But it's going to bloom this year pretty good. So I think I'm hoping we have this one branch of Excelsior in this Robusto tree, and never got great pollination on this, and I'm hoping adding the extra Asian type plum to the yard will help with the pollination of that. We shall see. We got our video is getting kind of long, and I don't know that I want to really talk about my pear trees today. Might wait on that. That's Tennessee though, in case you're wondering. I do have one last plum tree here. This is another one of the Mariposa plums. One of those ones I was telling you about from California. It's supposed to be kind of a late ripening plum, and also very large plum. So I'm adding that. I'm going to come back to the yard. I missed one. Another tree I plan to add the next year. Another grafting project. I'm always grafting stuff. But I found a source for a variety called late Santa Rosa. And I decided I wanted to add a Santa Rosa, but I think I'm going to go with the late strain. Now the Santa Rosa is one of those plums, and a lot of them do this. They produce sports, and then the sport is basically where there's a genetic change in the apical meristem in a limb, and then the plums that that limb produces are different from the parent. And the late Santa Rosa is such a sport, and the way those plums are different is that they're a month later. So this tree here was I had grafted over. It was originally a odum that was grafted onto Toole's Heirloom, and then I grafted onto what I thought was Ruby Sweet, and that plum just it was not Ruby Sweet, and it's really not a great plum, nor is it it completely lost its leaves due to leaf scald. So that's not going to work here, but the stem portion seems plenty healthy. So what I'm going to do is cut it off about there, and then I'm going to graft in the late Santa Rosa. At least that's the plan as it stands right now, and hopefully that will harvest my extend my harvest season until late July, if it works at all. Anyway, that's kind of it for today. This is Marcus Toole, September 21st, 2025, and this is my home orchard. Thank you and God bless.